this week we're talking about the fear of being seen and how is it stopping us from reaching our most fulfilling, passionate lives and reaching our purpose. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Brooke LeBlanc. I go by Brooke the Architect, and I like help pouring into other women mentally, physically, and spiritually to help us navigate this beautiful life and help us live our most soft, feminine, divine, passionate lives. So let's get straight into it. As always, let's talk about it. Let's talk about why do we have the fear of being seen. And I'm going to be talking to you guys today as I'm getting ready for a high-end event today in Dallas. I'm so excited, y'all. And this is actually the perfect timing because I'm actually working on standing out and having the spotlight on me and getting over the fear of being seen. And the dress that I have today, it definitely stands out, and so it's definitely a little different and out there. So I can't wait to share that with you guys later on in this video. But let's get into it. Let's talk about this. So actually, this touches on my topic today about the fear of being seen, because when we walk into rooms and spaces, we have to be fearless. We have to tackle this. We have to be the main characters in our lives. We have to stand out while being ourselves authentically. And that's what I'm going to be doing tonight when I walk into this event with this dress that I have. I say we, yes we, because I'm struggling with this as well too. And I'm walking through this with you guys, so you're not alone. And in this video, I'm going to express and explain why we may have the fear of being seen and what it is, and the tips and tricks that I do to help overcome it, and what I do. So let's do it. Okay, so point number one. Why is the fear of being seen hurting us? Imagine that you have so much purpose in this world, so much to give, so much to do, so many memories to experience and create in this lifetime that you have, and having talents that only you can give to this world, that nobody else can give, and only being able to reach a certain amount of people that no one else can reach. And believe it or not, there's people waiting for you, waiting to see you and what you bring to this world. Imagine having all of this, yet you never see it. You never live to that potential because you're dimming your light and you're too afraid to have the spotlight on you. Therefore, you're living complacent when you was meant to stand out. You were meant to be seen and for this world to experience you and to see you and for you to experience this world. But you can't. You can't excel in your jobs or your careers or your relationships or the social media or your confidence and, any of the goals that you have, the fitness goals, whatever it is, social goals, you won't really obtain those because you're so fearful of what could happen or how people could see you. And what type of life is that? That's a complacent life. We have to be our biggest fan. We have to uplift ourselves, celebrate ourselves, and love who we are authentically. So yes, stand out and own the room. I don't care if it's a coffee shop. Own the room. It's your life and you're the main character of your life. So point number two, a moment of transparency, and I'll be completely honest with you guys. I let the opinions of others stop me from being me and loving myself. And that is a very dangerous place to be. And I've been there, I've done that, and I still struggle with this. I let the opinions of others fit me in a box that I'm not meant to be in. And it dimmed my light for far too long. And I realized that I talk a lot about self-love and confidence, but how can we do that when we have the fear of being seen by others? And we let the opinions of others fit us in a box much smaller than what we're meant to be in. Someone would always have something to say, no matter what you do, how you do it, how pure you are, how nice you are, how confident or good at what you do you are. Somebody will always have something to say. And because I listened to them, I belittled myself. I wasn't living to my true self and being my authentic self, and I did not feel like me, and I was not happy. And I just remember being hurt because of what other people were saying about me or their perception of me, when I tried to fit myself in that box. I was not happy. I was depressed. I was sad. And I just felt like I was living in somebody else's skin to make somebody else more comfortable. I was no longer me, and I was missing out on my opportunities that God has for me and the things that I need to be doing. And I had to learn that we can't do that. Let them talk. Let them talk. Like, that's their life, their word, and it's only their words and their perception. But if you're going to let them talk, give them something to talk about. And that's by you being your authentic self and you standing true to yourself. Their words can only hurt you if you let the words hurt you. So this should have been a later topic, but we're getting straight into it because this is probably one of the biggest topics out there, and we're not playing around in 2024. This year, we're not worrying about the opinions of others. Okay, so point number 3. In order to get over a fear of something, we have to take it out of the dark and see it in a more clear light. And if you watch any of my past videos, I talk about vision and how important vision is. And so, in order to get over the fear of being seen, you have to see yourself first and find yourself and stay true to yourself. So figure out, who are you and what are the things that make you happy? What are the things that you like to do? What makes you different? And I'm a firm believer, find yourself, be yourself, by yourself. You have to do this stage by yourself and figure out who you are. So find yourself. And in order to do this, sit down and think about, okay, what are the things that you like to do? What makes you happy? What makes you excited? What is something that you always wanted to try to do? You know, what makes you different? You know, and what are your passions? And celebrate those things. These are the things that you like to do. This is how you like to dress. This is how you like to talk. This is the career that you want to tackle and why. You know, these are your passions. These are your beliefs. Own that, because that's what makes you different and that's who you are. And further in this video, we're going to talk about shining light on that. And for me, I like to dress a certain type of way. I like to celebrate myself. I like to highlight my insecurities. I like to always dress above the occasion. And that's just me, and that's because of confidence. And I used to struggle with being insecure. So whenever I walk into a room, I like to be a little bit overdressed. So I'm saying all of this to say that you are different. Highlight those differences. Highlight what makes you you and own it. And don't be afraid to own it. But in order for us to shine light on this, we have to acknowledge it and actually see it face to face. And this is actually taking the fear and putting it into a light. You know, you're taking yourself out of the dark, shining light on it. And now we're going to move forward from there. So point number 4, there's another step. And that's shining light. We talked about shining light on what makes us ourselves. Now we have to shine light on our insecurities. And I hate to break it to you, you're not the only one. We all have insecurities and we all struggle with things that we are insecure about, things that we don't like about ourselves. I struggle with insecurities myself, and I always have and always will, but I acknowledge them, and I'm encouraging you to acknowledge your insecurities as well. Because if it's not one thing, it's going to be something else. That's life. But we decide how we respond to them. Are we going to let these insecurities control us, or are we going to control our mindsets and our perceptions over these insecurities? Insecurities are beautiful because they make us different. They make us unique. And if you ever think about it, sometimes because we're trying to fit ourselves in a box and we're so worried about what other people think, because we're doing that, we start finding faults within ourselves. We start finding faults within the things that makes us different. When in reality, these are the things that makes us beautiful and unique. And you need to own these things. So again, shining light on this fear means acknowledging your insecurities. And think about it. Are we insecure because this is what everybody else is saying? Or are we insecure because this is something that we truly have to work on for ourselves to be our authentic selves? And I encourage you to write these insecurities out, acknowledge them, or speak them out. Voice these insecurities out and put them out into the world. And I'll go first. I'll share my insecurities with you guys, okay? One, I used to be very insecure about my breast size, and yeah. Two, my hips. I come from the South, and BBWs and all of that, like, come on now, that's from the South. And so I have a much slimmer, smaller body frame, and so sometimes I can be insecure about my lack of hips. Three, I'm 30, and sometimes I struggle with the idea of being single at 30. That's so hard to say out, but yeah, sometimes I struggle with that, and that's mainly because I'm listening to what everybody else is saying where I should be at the age of 30. When in reality, I should be living my life and letting everything flow and come to me. But I get insecure about that. Five, I get insecure about my past relationships sometimes and how I handled them, and what I had to learn from them. But I get insecure about what I had to go through to get here at this very moment. Six, my voice in a professional environment. I have a very soft-spoken voice, and again, I come from the South. We're very loud out there and dominant, but my voice is very soft, and so in the professional setting, sometimes I feel small because of how soft-spoken I am. Seven, having intellectual conversations in large spaces, and I realize this is a part of the fear of being seen, and this is kind of a total of everything I just talked about, all these insecurities. Sometimes I don't want people to truly see me, and that comes from intellectual conversations. I don't want them to see my insecurities or the things that I think is unattractive about myself. And so in large settings, I like to have intimate conversations, but not too much. They intimidate me because I don't want you to see me. I don't want you to see what I struggle with. So I just put that out there. So now is your turn. Say your insecurities, list them out, but acknowledge them, own them. Okay, so now that that's out there, take your power back. Now that we acknowledge that we're letting the opinions of others fit us in a box, and more importantly, we're putting ourselves in that box, it's time for us to take our power back because we're acknowledging all of these things. Now that this fear is out of the dark, we can see it in the light, it's time to tackle this. Well, now I'm going to be talking about how to take our power back and what I'm doing to take my power back. So point number 6, not everyone and everything is for you. You're not going to be everybody's cup of tea. And I had to have an honest conversation with myself. It's a pride thing. And we have to humble ourselves because it is impossible to make everybody in this world, everybody that we meet, to like us. And in reality, that's never going to happen. Someone's always going to think a certain type of way about you, or you're never going to mix well with everybody. Humble yourself. Stop being so prideful and acknowledge and accept that we're not for everybody. And so keep going with your life. So what if you're not their cup of tea? They got thousands of people who's looking for you. Thousands of opportunities looking for someone just like you. And this will help you break down those boundaries. Once you understand that not everybody has to like you, you can get on with that. You can keep moving forward and continue enjoying your life, and that way you can now place yourself in spaces for people and things that do appreciate you, that wants to be with you. So I say this because don't let your pride dim your light. Like I said, we put ourselves in these boxes, and that's because of pride sometimes, and we have to humble ourselves. So this leads to my favorite point, and this is point number 7. And this is this is the most important point. If anything out this video, take this one. Now it's time to be uncomfortable. That's to take everything we just talked about and combat it with the opposite effect. Celebrating yourself means being seen. Enjoy this journey and be yourself and put yourself in uncomfortable situations. So we talked about insecurities. I am the biggest fan of fix it or flaunt it. If you have an insecurity, you either work on fixing it or you work on flaunting it. You gotta choose which one you want to do, but don't stand in the middle. You keep moving forward. And guess what? Like, when you start putting yourself in these uncomfortable situations, people are going to notice that. And like I said, some people will like it and some people won't. Oh well, you keep living your life. So yeah, so you put yourself in uncomfortable situations, and you get over the fear of what other people are thinking of you. And after a while, guess what? You're still alive. It may be uncomfortable, but you're still standing. You're still alive. And so I like to think of it this way. If we get uncomfortable and put ourselves in an uncomfortable situation, guess what? After the fact, we're still alive. But if we keep ourselves complacent and listen to what other people say, fit ourselves in a small box, we slowly die from the inside out. So you have to choose which one you want, to live or to basically die to yourself, Examples of being uncomfortable: going to places by yourself, dressing above the occasion, wearing certain type of outfits that stand out, that only you can pull off, that show and emphasize your insecurities or the things that you like about yourself. Do it. Reaching for all of your goals and your potential, and even if that calls you to be in uncomfortable spaces, do it. Go after those things. If you're going after a career or profession, make sure that you start speaking up in rooms with your bosses and your peers, using your voice. For me, I'm insecure about my voice sometimes, and so I start speaking up in large spaces, which is very uncomfortable for me, but it helps. Just whatever you do, whatever you choose to do to be uncomfortable, stand out authentically. So I'm gonna take you guys with me to this event. I don't know if I'm making another video or not. We're gonna figure it out. But you guys got homework for this week, and I'm gonna be doing this homework with you guys as well. So assignment number 1, do one thing this week that you love to do, and do it by yourself, And I encourage you to do it where there's people around or whatever. Just spend time with yourself and do something that makes you you, that makes you unique. Assignment number 2, write down an insecurity, just one, and then decide if you're going to fix it or flaunt it. Decide what you want to do with it. And then whichever direction you decide to take a step towards that direction. If it's working out or getting fit or losing weight or whatever it is, or speaking up in large areas, do one thing that gets you closer to combating this insecurity. And assignment number 3, do one thing that makes you uncomfortable, that makes you nervous. One thing that's going to put the light on you and allow people to see you. And for me, I'm doing this with you guys. For me, tonight, it's going to be so hard. I'm going to try to vlog tonight at this event that I'm going to. So I'm going to bring you guys along. I'm going to have the camera. I'm kind of afraid to do this. But, like I said, we all have a purpose to do and things to do. And I can't let this fear stop me from doing that. So my assignment is wearing this dress tonight that stands out, and vlogging and talking to you guys while other people are around and looking. So I'm so nervous, but we got this. I'm proud of you guys, and y'all, it's 2024. I know that you have so much to give to this world, so much to do, so much to love on yourself, and so much love to give. Don't let the fear of being seen stop you from that. There's so much to do in such a short amount of time. So let's get to it. As always, I love you guys. I believe in you guys. We got this, y'all. So I don't know if I'll make another video. We're gonna figure this out, but
I need to lock off, I need to step back. Constantly online, causing me setbacks too. Every day see so many people doing the things you do, and they're doing it better too. Whoa, whoa. It's like, why should I even try?